Happy Easter. Did you get your taxes done? There is nothing more un-American than the amount of taxes that we pay in this country these days. Think about a big reason why we split from the British Empire and created the United States. Think about the Boston Tea Party. But anyway, there's nothing more American than spending your tax refund, your tax return on guns. New guns. More guns. So, I know, and I'm going to get a lot of the comments, a lot of people don't get a tax refund. And in fact, I didn't expect to get one this year, but the YouTube channel took a loss and I got a tax return. So, pros and cons. By the way, the more people that sign up for the sponsors, maybe I won't take a loss next year. That would be awesome. But I do feel like I constantly need to bring you guys new cool stuff to put on the channel. And so of course that is what I'm spending my tax return on. And I want to give you guys some ideas, if you are getting a tax return, of what to spend yours on. If you're not getting a tax return, well, hopefully you just have some extra money to buy some new guns anyway. Welcome back to Sawtooth Tactical. So I'm going to tell you right now what I'm spending my tax return on. It is an MP5K clone. I've mentioned it in videos a couple times. I am hoping to pick it up this week, but I've been waiting for that money to come in. I do have the money for it, but it would be irresponsible of me to spend that money on it without getting more money first, if you know what I mean. So I'm kind of waiting for a tax return. And I'm going to have that MP5K clone right away. I've been putting money down on it already, so it is mine. It's just still sitting at the gun store. And I'm going to set it up and I'm going to make it super cool. I'm going to have an Aimpoint optic. I'm going to have a stock. It's going to be SBR'd. I'm going to have a new suppressor that is new. I can't tell you what it is just yet because it's being sent to the channel and I'm very excited about that. And I do think that if you don't have an MP5 or an MP5K, that would be a great thing to spend your tax return on. In fact, I did a similar video to this last year and that was one of the guns on my list. And I'm finally getting it a year later. And I'm going to say some of the same guns that are on last year's list, but also some new things. Lately, for some reason, I've really wanted an HK 416. I know we got HK and HK as the first two things here. But the thing is this, the MP5 I'm getting, it's a clone. It's a clone made in Turkey, and it costs less than an HK SP5. Well, now Brownells, they have their BRN4 kits, and you can build yourself out an HK 416 without paying HK 416 prices. Now, of course, if you get a big enough tax return, yeah, get the HK. It's freaking sweet. AMR 556A4, dude, thumbs up on that. But you can also build yourself out one pretty custom. Send the lower off if you want and get all the markings on it, 416D. Get the Geisley 416 rail. And that's another big one right here. It is Easter weekend. Geisley goes on sale around every holiday. At the time of recording this, I don't know that they're going to have a sale on Easter, but I can guess. They pretty much always have a sale around every holiday. And so a good thing to spend your money on, Geisley. If you don't have a Geisley trigger in your favorite AR, get a Geisley trigger. I really recommend the SDE. I've got it in 3 of these. I've also got the SSP. That's great for a single stage trigger, but Geisley triggers are worth having and they're really not that expensive. When you compare to all the other things that cost so much money in the firearms world, having a really good trigger is worth it. And when they're on sale, they're really not bad. But yeah, I just think an HK 416 would be a sweet thing to have. Another one that I really want, and I know these are kind of things that I don't need. I've got my bases covered for 5.56 guns, but you know what? I like 5.56 guns. I really want a Spear LT, 11.5 inch, of course, 2-stamp, suppressed SBR, do it the right way. But I think the Spear LT is awesome. It is kind of heavy, but man, it looks freaking good. And I kind of want to talk about things in this video, not necessarily things that you need, but things that you want. Because tax return is kind of like extra money. Hopefully you already have all your bills paid with your regular income, but you get some extra money, spend it on something cool, something that you're going to enjoy. Now this video is sponsored by Aura. And if you want to help me get some of the things on this list, the best way to help the channel is to sign up for Aura using the link in the description. That link is aura.com/sawtooth-tactical. With that link, you get to try it out absolutely free for 2 weeks, 14 days, and get all of your online security taken care of for you. It's only $12 a month after the free 2 weeks, if you even decide to stick with it. But if you do, Aura will go online and find wherever your data has been leaked, wherever your personal private information is out there, and it is, and they submit opt-out requests on your behalf with data brokers, which gets you off of any lists that are being sold, and then you don't get any spam calls anymore. You don't get any scam calls anymore. I've said this a million times in videos, but I do use Aura. I appreciate what they do, and I do believe in it because, like I said, I use it, and it's helped me out quite a bit. But they also do a ton of other things for you as well. They have spam and junk mail removal, antivirus software, 3-bureau credit monitoring, spam call protection. They have a VPN with safe browsing. You can be on the internet safely, securely, and anonymously. They've got password manager. They've got home title monitoring, data broker removal. That's what we talked about in the very beginning of this. They do all this stuff. They package it together in one app for $12 a month. But again, 2 weeks to try it out if you'd like to, absolutely free by clicking that link. And again, that is the very best way to support Sawtooth Tactical so that I could bring you guys more cool stuff to make videos about. So click that link below, sign up, aura.com/sawtooth-tactical. So I mentioned a couple of really cool rifles before that little ag segment, but how about some pistols? So I've had the opportunity to shoot some really great pistols in the last year, and one that I highly recommend is the Dan Wesson DWX. I don't think that it gets nearly enough clout, whatever. You just don't see a lot about it, but it is a fantastic pistol. In fact, maybe the best shooting pistol that I've ever shot. Like, it was really good. Now, Staccato XC, yeah, Staccato XC, I mean, maybe shot a little bit faster. The Dan Wesson DWX that I had was ported, so I mean, it was fast and flat. It's an amazing pistol. Thing is it costs about half as much as a Staccato XC. And the DWX Compact, that thing is beautiful. And speaking of such things, so you've got a Dan Wesson DWX Compact. It's awesome. But the CZ Shadow 2 Compact is pretty damn awesome too. And again, cheaper than the Dan Wesson. Now they are a little bit different. They both have very similar ergonomics and grips, but the Dan Wesson has like a 2011 top end. It's basically like a 2011 up here, but with a CZ Shadow 2 grip, and it's freaking sweet. But speaking of 2011s, get yourself a 2011. If you don't have a 2011 yet, get a 2011. Now, of course, the nicer ones are going to cost more. But even like a Staccato P or a Bull Armory, those are fantastic guns. If you don't want to spend that kind of money on one, dude, I got this Springfield Prodigy when they first came out. It has been perfectly reliable. I've done some upgrades to it, made it better, and it's an amazing pistol now. Now, with what I have in it, it costs about as much as a Staccato P. But it didn't cost me Staccato prices to buy it initially, and it was really good just out of the box. I just wanted to make it better because that's what I like to do with my firearms. But get yourself a 2011. I will have the EAA 2311 Match X back again, hopefully this week. It's been off getting some custom work done to it. But there's a lot of affordable 2011s on the market now. Just do your research. Make sure you get one that's actually good. Because there is, 2011s, certain things that make them really good. One of the things is a really good trigger. And, you want that really good trigger. So, do your research, but get a decent one. You can get one for a lot less than they used to be. And they're just amazing. This pistol makes me feel like I shoot better than I really do. So, 2011's awesome. Now, what about other things? Things that aren't guns, but that are gun related. Things like night vision. Night vision is literally the coolest thing that I got last year. I absolutely love it. And again, tax return, I mean, if you have kids, whatever, you might be getting a few $1,000 back. The RENV-C Tactical RENV-31 dual tube white phosphor setup right here, you can get that for less than $5,000. And that sounds like a lot of money, but for night vision, it's really not. For most dual tube articulating setups like this, especially white phosphor, you're paying closer to $10,000. But the RENV-C Tactical stuff is a lot less. Yes, it is Gen 2 Plus, not Gen 3. But you know what? I've used the hell out of these. I've shot under night vision with them, with and without IR laser aiming modules. They do everything that I need night vision to do. Yeah, I'm sure some unfilmed L3 tubes are better, but is it $10,000 better versus $5,000? Up to you to decide, but I have really enjoyed these. Now, if you already have night vision, thermal clip-on, I know, these are expensive things. This is about another $5,000, but it adds thermal capability to your night vision. It projects into one of the tubes, and then you can see at night and see thermal signatures at the exact same time, and you have total control over it with a remote. It's freaking wild. Now, if you do have night vision, you got to set up laser aiming modules on your guns. Now, when I first got this, I didn't have any lasers, and I just passively aimed through the EOTech on my Mark 18, and it worked just fine. I could do that, I could make hits, but it is a heck of a lot easier with IR illuminator, IR laser. And there are some good ones on the market now that are a lot cheaper than they used to be. The SMS HFXC here, I mean, this thing is like $300 and it's a full power unit. It's wild. Now, is it as good as a Wilcox Raid or a Maul? I'm sure it's not. But for $250, it's pretty damn impressive. And it really brings out the capability of your night vision, because you can't see IR with the naked human eye, but you can under nods. And so to have the capability to light up anything with a full powered illuminator with your nods at night is, I mean, you got to see it to believe it. It's unbelievable. It's incredible. Speaking of affordable lasers, this one costs more than that. This is closer to $1,000, but this also came from RENV-C Tactical. It's a 4-in-1 unit as well. So it's got a white light, it's got an IR laser, IR illuminator, and a green aiming laser. And I actually really like this unit. It is a civilian powered laser, but it's a V-cell illuminator, which is plenty powerful. And I like the remote switch for it really well too. So I've got my mod light switch here, and I've got the switch for the laser aiming module right next to it. Easy to tell which is which, you know, by feeling in the dark. That's pretty sweet. Now, speaking of, back to guns that you could get with your tax return. So one of the ones I talked about last year was a Mark 18. And here I got a Mark 18, a fully built out badass Mark 18. And so I did practice what I preached. And I also talked about last year that I wanted to get an MP5. And here I am getting an MP5 this week. I also talked about Comp 2011. So my Comp 2011 should be coming back from Cosent Arms this week. And so this video isn't just bullshit. It's not just out of nowhere. Like, this is what I spend my tax returns on, is firearms. Yes, partially for me because I love them, but also for you guys because I want to be able to bring you guys new cool stuff for the channel. People loved the Mark 18 build. So maybe we'll do an HK416 build, a BRN4 or something like that. But let me know down in the comments, what are you spending your tax return on? Because if you get a tax return, if you don't, like, I get it. Like, I own my own business and, you know, I took a loss this year, but so that kind of helped me on the taxes. But I also work a regular job too. I manage a lumberyard and a heavy equipment rental business. And so, you know, regular W-2 stuff where I pay more taxes than what I owe, and I get some back at the end of the year because of that. And a lot of people get that. So let me know, if you're one of those people, what are you going to spend your tax return on this year? Firearm related or not, but if it's firearm related, that's cooler. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, please give me a like. And again, let me know, what are you spending your tax return on And from Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.